Hello and welcome. My name is Beck and I'm a student recruiter for the University of Alberta Augustana Campus. Welcome to Registration 101. Before I go any further, I would like to acknowledge that the land on which Augustana Campus is located is in Treaty 6 territory. The land is traditionally known as Stony Creek. This land is a meeting ground and traveling route for many Indigenous peoples. Our campus community strives to recognize and integrate these ways of knowing into our everyday life. The first thing to do in course registration is actually to accept your offer. You need to first have accepted your offer and submitted the tuition deposit in order to access course registration. The tuition deposit will count towards the amount of money that you owe for your first semester of classes at Augustana. Once your acceptance and deposit is received, your status in Bear Tracks will update and you will be able to enroll in courses. Head to uab.ca/accept for more information. Your degree is made up of many different components, and there's a lot of terminology to keep track of. So before we talk about course registration, I want to make sure that we are all at the same point of understanding. Your degree program, or bachelor's degree, is the overarching program that you are studying under. At Augustana, this would be a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Management, Bachelor of Science, or the combined Bachelor of Education and Bachelor of Science program. Your major is the area of study that the primary amount of work is being done in. This is where most of your credits will be focused. Minors are the secondary area of study to a degree program. Minors are optional, and at Augustana, we offer a minor in music and a minor in management. Core courses are courses that are required for all Augustana degree programs and provides a foundation for your education. Electives are the classes that make up the remaining credits of your degree program. Each program has a different amount of electives that can be used to complete your degree. Prerequisites are a requirement that needs to be met before taking certain courses. So for example, if you want to take introductory biology at Augustana, you need to have first taken biology at the grade 12 level. A co-requisite is when two courses must be taken in the same semester, as the content of each class builds off of one another. Your program will be set up similarly to the following image. Your degree will need you to complete 120 credits of coursework, except for the Bachelor of Music program, which requires 122. And the BSc B.Ed combined degree needs 150 credits, as it's a 5-year program. Most courses are worth 3 credits, meaning that you will need to complete approximately 40 courses by the end of your degree. Again, this number may vary depending on the classes you are taking and the program you're in. So in your first year, you will have 2 terms, a fall and a winter term. In each term, you will take 15 credits or 5 classes, which would be a full course load. Your degree is composed of the Augustana core courses, your major, potentially a minor if you want, and electives. The Augustana core is made up of 2 main parts. We have the core foundation, which is a set of 4 classes, with one being taken each year of study. These classes serve as a way for students to get real, practical experience interacting with an issue, working with a group to study it, and come up with a solution. In your first year, you will take the first year seminar, or AUIDS 101. AUIDS 101 starts off by getting everyone on the same page. Our professors are going to teach you how to write a paper at the university level, what the expectations are for presentations, and how to use a variety of academic resources and services. And they're going to do it in a fun way. So the course topic changes depending on what professors you are taking it with. You will have the chance to learn all about university expectations, while studying topics such as First Beer Seminar, Rise of the Robots, or Gods, Monsters, and Myths, just to name a few. The other half of the core is the knowledge section, which is the same set of requirements for every single student and program at Augustana. You will need to take 9 credits in fine arts and humanities courses, 6 credits in social science classes, and 6 credits in sciences. These requirements can be completed using the classes taken for your major. So, for example, someone in the integrative biology major will already be taking quite a few biology, chemistry, and math courses. So, when they complete those classes, they will complete the 6 science credits. The other important part of choosing your classes is understanding the semester calendar, and Augustana's is a little different. We operate a 311 calendar, meaning that we have taken the regular 14-week semester and broken it down into 2 sections. The first 3 weeks of the semester, you will take a single course, which will be completed at the end of those 3 weeks. Then, in the following 11 weeks, you will take your other 4 courses. Here are a few more tips for choosing your courses. You can find these tips and resources linked at uab.ca/reg101. Each class might have different class components. Some classes will be a lecture, where the professor is speaking on various topics for the duration of the session. A seminar is similar, but will typically involve a greater amount of discussion and in-class participation. Finally, some courses will have an attached lab component. A lab is like a co-requisite class where you are completing hands-on work that is related to the materials in the lecture. It is very common for science classes to have a lecture lab course. There are a lot of things to consider when taking classes and when building your schedule, such as what prerequisite classes are required. So make sure that you have all of those prerequisites completed before trying to enroll in those classes. Again, back to that biology example, making sure that you've taken Biology 30 in order to take introductory bio at the university level. You'll want to consider what classes have the fewest offerings. Some classes are only offered once a year. Some are offered multiple times in a single semester. Make sure you prioritize that are classes that are offered at fewer times. Another thing to consider is what do you want to do after your degree? If you're looking for a professional program such as law, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, rehabilitation medicine, or more, make sure you check up on those programs and what they require. Head to uab.ca/programs to learn more about all of those different graduate studies programs, as each one will have different academic requirements that will need to be considered throughout your degree. You can head to uab.ca/programs to learn more or book an appointment with us to chat more about it. All right, here are a few more resources to help you navigate course selection and enrollment. First, in Bear Tracks, you have access to what is called the Academics Requirements Report, or ARR. This is a personalized to-do list for you based on your program and major. It will list all of the courses you need to take and will cross off parts as they are completed. Alongside the ARR, you will find the What If report. It's similar to the ARR and will show you what you have completed for a degree program, but this is to be used when you're considering changing majors or programs. It will show you what classes you have already completed and will go towards completing a different program. The Augustana Course List tool can be used to see all of the different classes that are being taught at Augustana in the upcoming year. It can be used to specifically search for 3 or 11-week classes, or the filters can be used to help you show the options for fulfilling the core knowledge requirements. Finally is our first year course registration guide. This is the most comprehensive resource for our first year students at Augustana. You can find it at uab.ca/reg101. If you do need assistance past that though, you can always email us at augustana@ualberta.ca or by booking an advising appointment with us. All right, now to the first year course recommendations. I'm not going to spend too much time on these as they're all in the registration guide and you can pause this video at any time, but I do want to quickly touch on all of them. All right, so for our Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science, you can apply to us as an undeclared major. That means you have not selected a major yet, and you have the freedom to take a variety of different classes and explore your options before selecting your major. If that's the case, we do have different recommendations. We will always recommend AU IDS 101, and the courses to consider are listed as follows. These are courses that aren't a strict requirement, but are things that you should consider taking as they are common requirements for the different arts programs requirements, or can help build up those foundational pieces. We highly recommend getting in touch with us or using the What If report in Bear Tracks to see your options. Bachelor of Science undeclared major is similar. We'll always recommend AU IDS 101, but there are a few slight differences in the courses you should consider taking. There is, of course, a higher prioritization for taking some general science classes throughout your entire first year. In the Bachelor of Arts programs, there are 6 different majors. For courses to consider, these are going to be the most important classes that the major needs to take. And the courses to consider are the classes that you can use to fill out the rest of your schedule. Creativity and culture major does have different streams available, so depending on what you want your specialization to be, your courses to consider will be slightly different. So take a look here for some more information. Our ethics and global studies majors have 5 different courses that we recommend you for sure take in your first year. And there is a much longer list for courses you could consider taking to fill out the rest of your schedule. For law, crime, and justice studies, we have a list of 5 recommended classes that you should take in your first year. There are 3 additional courses we urge you to consider taking throughout your first year to help fill out that schedule. And then depending on what specialization you would like in the law, crime, justice studies programs, we'll provide some variation in what courses you should consider as well. Those are listed on the right-hand side of the screen. A physical education major should take for sure the following classes. Class number 6, the 1 or 2 AU PAC classes are 1 credit classes. So these can be taken in addition to 5 classes per semester. So in theory, you could take your 3-week class, you could take 4 regular classes in the 11-week semester, and take a single credit PAC class on top of that. These PAC classes are physical activity courses that are there to help get you active and learn about different forms of movement and activity. To help fill out your schedule, there are a few courses you should consider taking as well. For psychology and mental health, there are only 3 strict requirements we have for this major in the first year. So make sure you are in those first 3 classes. Past that, you will want to consider different classes based on what specialization you would like to go into. So the mental health and well-being and the brain and behavior streams will have different requirements. So make sure you are taking the appropriate set of first year classes. Past that, Past all of that, to help fill out your schedule, consider taking classes that will help filling out those core knowledge requirement pieces, like we discussed earlier. For sustainability studies, there are 5 classes you should take in your first year, and there are a number of different courses you could consider taking to help fill out the rest of that schedule. For management, we have a set of 7 classes that you would need to take in your first year at Augustana. To fill out the last 3 classes in your schedule, we urge you to consider taking fine arts or humanities classes or a science class to help you fill out those core knowledge requirements. In music, we have a list of 8 classes that you should be considering throughout that first year. And then the rest of your classes will vary based on what specialization you would like to be in your first year. So do keep in mind this is a little bit different of a program, so please get in touch with us if you'd like some assistance navigating the music audition process, the music class registration process, any of those pieces. For the Bachelor of Science program, we have 5 different majors. For integrative biology, we have 6 different classes that you should take in your first year. And then to help fill out the other 4 classes for the semester, you can use this courses to consider list. For chemical and physical sciences, we have 6 classes that you need to take in that first year. And then there is a list of courses to consider taking to help fill in those spaces for the other 4 classes in your year. For computing science and mathematics, there are 6 classes that we urge you to take. And then there is a small list of other courses to help you fill in those last 4 spaces in your schedule. For environmental sciences, we have 7 classes that we recommend. And then there is a list of courses to consider to help you fill in the rest of your schedule. And then finally, the Bachelor of Science in Physical Education does have a few more classes and a few different classes than the Bachelor of Arts in Physical Education, so make sure that you are looking at the right set of course requirements. But we do have at least 8 different classes that we recommend you take in your first year, and that to fill out the rest of the schedule, we recommend taking a look at those core knowledge components. In the Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Education combined degree program, we have 4 different majors, so the major will impact what classes we recommend you take. So for the biology major, we recommend the 6 classes, and you can use the courses to consider list to help you fill in the rest of your schedule. For chemistry, a slightly different list of 6 classes, and again, a list of courses to consider taking in order to fill in the rest of your schedule. The mathematics major has a slightly different list of 8 recommended classes for the major, as well as a list of other classes to consider in order to fill out the rest of your schedule. And finally, the general sciences major for this program has 8 recommended classes and a small list of courses to consider to help fill out the rest of your schedule. And finally, we have our Bachelor of Elementary Education. We have a list of 6 courses that we recommend you take for your first year. And to help fill out the other 4 classes in your schedule, we have that courses to consider list. All right. We're going to chat about My Schedule Builder. This is what you'll use to build your schedule. Every single course at Augustana begins with the course code AU to signify that it is taught at the Augustana campus. Following the AU, there will be 3 other letters representing the subject, and then 3 numbers indicating what the class topic is. So, while you're searching for a class in My Schedule Builder, if you're looking at a class that does not start with AU, Chances are you are not looking at an Augustana class, and it is likely a class at a different U of A campus, so keep that in mind. Once you're in My Schedule Builder, you can start searching for classes. You can search for classes using those course codes that we showed you in the course recommendations list. You can search by course code. You can type in biology, and it would bring up that same list of biology classes. And there are advanced search functions as well. So if you're looking for a class to fill in your time slot on Fridays because you have no classes on Fridays and you want something there, you can use those advanced search functions to kind of help filter down to certain classes and help you build out your schedule. Once you've selected all of your classes and added them to your schedule, you can go ahead and validate your course schedule. This validation process will help you confirm that the classes that you have added to your schedule are classes that you are eligible for and can be enrolled in. This validation process can be done in advance of your course registration date, so you can be prepared and ensure that all of your classes can be enrolled in once that enrollment date does pass. So to validate, you'll go into the Get This Schedule button at the bottom of the schedule. You will select every class to be added to cart, and then you'll select Do Actions. This will then validate all of your classes, and again, just to confirm that you are in all of the classes and you can actually take all of those classes. Next, to enroll in those courses, you're going to go back into the Get That Schedule button, and you're going to select Enroll for all of those classes, and then Do Actions. This will then enroll you in those classes, and you'll be added to the class roster, and you're officially enrolled in your classes. For more details on how to use My Schedule Builder, please head to uab.ca/reg101 and use the Augustana course first year course registration guide to help. There are a few important dates that I really want to highlight for you as well. The first one being April 3rd. This is when course enrollment opens. That is the first day you are officially allowed to go into Bear Tracks and actually enroll in your classes, adding your name to the class rosters. Throughout March and prior to April 3rd, My Schedule Builder will be open for you to build your schedules, but you will not have enrolled in any of those classes until you actually go through those enrollment steps on or after April 3rd. Another big course registration date is September 30th. This is when your fall term tuition is due, so it's an important one to keep in mind and be aware of. October 1st will be the add drop deadline for your 11-week classes. So that'll come into play a little bit later, but that just means that that's the last day where you can make changes to your fall schedule. And then August 23rd will be the first year move-in. Please do confirm with us over the summer if you're planning to live in residence. Keep an eye out for those residence emails. It will confirm what day and time you can move in at, but tentatively it is set to August 23rd. And finally, August 26th will be your first day of classes. So it's important to keep in mind that you're ready for August 26th. If you have any other questions or would like to meet with us to discuss course registration more fully, please do send us an email at augustana@ualberta.ca or find us at uab.ca/advising. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.